Why does the CC put off extending AG's term? SJB bigshot highlights Rajitha's links to Ranil. SLPP or no SLPP, Namal carries on unconcerned. Astrologer's 5-star hotel office gets busy.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Why does the CC put off extending AG's term? As presidential polls become nearer by the day, various constitutional issues come up, with the opposition claiming them to be highly suspicious. The Constitutional Council has again put off its decision on a recommendation by the President to grant a 6-month service extension to the Attorney General. The Constitutional Council that met on June 10th decided to discuss it further, as Attorney General Sanjay Rajaratnam completes his tenure at the end of this month. Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abewardena hopes a decision will come at the CC's next meeting on June 18th. The opposition casts serious doubts over President Ranil Wickremesinghe's move to extend the AG's term. There is talk about the AG to be consulted to know whether Ranil can remain in the presidency for another year, even without a referendum. Some in the government want no elections for the next 2 years until the country stands firmly on its feet. However, the Constitution requires the presidential polls to be held before October 18th. A few weeks ago, a constitutional expert mooted how to avoid the election by using the very same constitutional provisions. He is the same one who is behind the 1-year reduction of the president's term during the good governance regime. His advice is that the reduction was made by a 2/3 parliamentary majority. So, reversing it is possible similarly. But SLPP's Sagara Karyawasam questions if the government commands a 2/3 majority. That is true. Last Sunday, Professor Channa Jayasumana raised a point in this regard. Clause 83. B of the Constitution clearly spells out what could be placed before the people at a referendum. One is raising the president's term to more than 6 years. According to Jayasumana, reducing the term to less than 6 years does not need to be approved at a referendum. So, raising it back to 6 years too does not need to be approved at a referendum either, Jayasumana opined. Anyway, it is up to the AG to interpret provisions in the Constitution. Jayasumana's remark came a day after the UMP discussed such an idea at its Bala Mandala meeting in Anuradhapura. Receiving that news in no time was Jayasumana, himself a resident of Anuradhapura. Even if the matter is placed before Parliament, getting it passed will be quite a task. But do not underestimate Ranil. He has the backing of 7 out of the 10 Tamil Natiknam Alliance MPs and 4 out of the 5 Sri Lanka Muslim Congress MPs. 19 SJB MPs were given decentralised development funds because they are with him. Then, the New Alliance and the SLFP Siripala faction are with Ranil too. It will not be a big task for the President to get it passed, despite opposition by Namal, Karyawasam, Sajith, AKD, Dulles and the handful in Savajana Balaya. Jayasuman points out. He says so for a reason. Look at what happened at the second reading vote on the CEB bill. Even Mahinda forgot that he had sent a letter to Ranil a few days earlier that he opposed privatising state assets. If a constitutional manoeuvre succeeds at extending Ranil's term, so will the term of the present Parliament. Then, everybody will be happy. The MPs will have another year to strike deals, receive vehicle permits and other privileges. They won't oppose it. But AKD warns against such conspiracies, saying people will take to the streets again, this time to oust Ranil. Mahinda too says it will be the end of the UNP if it attempts to put off elections. He said so in Badulla yesterday. That means even Mahinda is without a clue on whether the election will take place as scheduled. SJB bigshot highlights Rajitha's links to Ranil. It is said SJB senior Rajitha Senaratne is going to join the government. At a recent meeting of some SJB MPs, one referred to his visit with Ranil to open a Melwa factory in Jaela. Rajitha retorted by pointing his finger at SM Marikar, who was seen with Ranil at the flood-hit Kolonawa. Marikar explained that he mediated during the president's visit to obtain relief for the affected people. The next day, Marikar said he took the SJB leader too, on tour of the area. After all, I should look after my people, the SJB spokesman said. Laughing out loud, Rajitha replied that Marikar was correct when he referred to floods in Kolonnawa. He claimed he was similarly with the president to give some relief to the people affected by the economic flooding of the entire country. Even Marikar let out a laugh on that. There is some basis for Rajitha's crossover talk. He has been commending Ranil for reviving the country in the past 2 years. He spoke highly of him at an ITN program recently too.
දැන් මෙච්චර හරි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන. දැන් අද අපේ රට ගැන අපි සන්තෝෂ වෙන්න ඕන එකතකින් ඇමරිකාවේ සෙනෙට් එකේ සභාපතිවරයා කියනවා මේ පහුගිය දවස්වල සෙනෙට් එකේ මේ විදේශ රටවල් ගැන කතා කරලා එයා කියනවා ලංකාවේ ආර්ථික ප්‍රගමණය මේ ආර්ථික නැවත ගොඩ ගැනීම ආර්ථික ආශ්චර්ය economic miracle ආර්ථික ආශ්චර්යයක් මගේ අවුරුදු 30ක දේශපාලන ජීවිතයේදී ලෝකයේ කිසිම රටක මෙවැනි ආශ්චර්යයක් මම දැකලා නැහැ. අපි බණිනවා. අපේ ටීවී දැම්මාම අරුමුව ඇවිල්ලා ඔක්කොම හතර මායමක් දන්නේ නැති සමාජලට ඕ ලෙවල් එකක් පාස් නැති මහා ලොකු മന്ത്രിලායි ඇමතිලායි ගෙනෙමු ඇවිල්ලා කයිවාරුවා. මේ ළඟදී අපිට පස්සේ බංකොලොත් වුණානේ ඉතියෝපියාව. ඉතියෝපියාවට යනවා IMF එක. මොකද කියන්නේ? Follow Sri Lanka. ශ්‍රී ලංකාව අනුගමනය කරන්න.
With no UNP leader backing Ranil in a significant way at the moment, Rajitha's doing so gives rise to the speculation of his joining the government soon. Anyway, a SJB bigshot from Kalutara is highlighting Rajitha's closeness to Ranil. Maybe he is thinking about preferential votes at the next general election. He will be able to celebrate big without Rajitha. SLPP or no SLPP, Namal carries on unconcerned. The Leader TV has been revealing how Ranil loyalists in the SLPP are getting sidelined. That has worsened in recent times. They are not getting invites to any of the party meetings by national organiser Namal Rajapaksa. If they attend by mistake, they get humiliated. In Kalawewa, Anuradhapura, Shehan Semasinghe did not get invited to the electoral convention. It was so in Matale for district leader Janaka Bandara and his son Pramitha Bandara. In light of this scenario, more SLPP MPs have decided to support Ranil directly. For his part, Namal is creating a young camp of his own in the SLPP. He carries on with his campaign. A mobile app called Namal Connect was launched without much ado. Just yesterday he started Who I Am, a platform for youths to tell their story of how they overcame challenges. Iranda Ginigai is in charge. He is quite a character. It was him who promoted Gota's Viathmaga and most recently trained young party women on how to go before the media. Namal's plan is clear. He is going to connect with the youth via the mobile phone. Many more things are planned. But these are sending alarm bells among the party's old guard. He is trying to gain power of the state via digital means after his father and uncle rode to power on their own plans. Astrologer's 5-star hotel office gets busy. A well-known astrologer who runs his office at a 5-star Colombo hotel is patronised by many politicians nowadays. From the top to the bottom, all go to see him alike. These days, it is would-be presidential candidates who are queuing up for him. Among them are those who are in a state of indecision. He has told his influential clients that winning is difficult if an election is held now. Normally, he charges a high fee, but for the biggest ones he visits them and gives his services free of charge. Anyway, he is quite influential in the country's political decisions. Irrespective of where they are, politicians are hell-bent on either gaining power and holding on to the power they have gained. If they had an iota of enthusiasm to fulfill key promises they had given during election time, the country would not have been in this situation. That's it for today.